After a nearly 10-year spree of assaulting women and girls in Ekurhuleni, a serial rapist Nkosinathi Emmanuel Phakathi has been sentenced to 42 life terms and an additional 791 years and 6 months imprisonment by the North Gauteng High Court sitting in the Palm Ridge Magistrates Courts. Phakathi, who had pleaded guilty in November 2022, was convicted on 148 charges, including 93 accounts of rape. Other charges involved sexual assaults, kidnapping, assaults, theft, compelling a minor to witness a sexual act, and possession of an unlicensed firearm. He initially faced 203 charges, but 55 of them were withdrawn. His rape spree began in 2012 and ended in 2021 when he was caught attempting to rape one of his previous victims. His victims range in age from as young as 9 to 44 years old. He targeted them in their homes and on the streets. Police say, seeing from his modus operandi, he operated between 5 a.m. and 9 a.m. in 4 different policing precincts. He conned his victims by posing as a meter box or giza installer, home inspector, or food distributor. He would also approach victims by asking them for directions. During his arrest on 17 March 2021, Phakathi was shot in the leg by the police after trying to evade arrest in Barcelona, Ecuador. He sustained a bullet wound to his right thigh. Subsequently, his leg was amputated. Phakathi's reign of terror took place in the streets of Ekurhuleni in Ecuador, Benoni, Davidson, Crystal Park, and Padfontein. The indictment spells out Phakathi's reign of terror. He raped a 12-year-old girl in Benoni in June 2012 and 3 months later raped a woman near Scotty Cemetery in Davidson. In 2015, he raped a 15-year-old girl in Barcelona, Davidson. He forced a 9-year-old boy to witness the rape. A year later, he sexually abused a 16-year-old girl, forcing a 16-year-old boy to watch it. Also in 2016, he forced a 14-year-old boy to sexually abuse 2 15-year-old girls in Ecuador and later sexually abused them himself. On 19 October 2015, he approached 2 women who were crossing a railway line and threatened them. Warning them that he was armed, he ordered them to follow him, and when they got to a field next to a railway line, he instructed them to undress before he raped them. In March 2017, he sexually abused and raped another 12-year-old. The last crime he committed was on the morning of 23 February 2021. He was at a woman's house and asked for her to write down her mother's number for him. When she went to her bedroom to fetch some paper, he entered her house. He told her that he was a criminal and she should comply with his instructions. Otherwise, he will stab her. He ordered her to undress and raped her repeatedly. A task team comprising of the investigative officer, warrant officer Tlala John Mukwena, investigative psychology section, clinical psychologist and criminologist was assisted intermittently by other members and units such as the Gauteng Provincial Serial and Electronic Crime Investigations units and the SANDF, which provided geographical mappings of Phakathi's area of operation. When investigation started, the task team did not have his picture or face, ID and names. They say Phakathi left no biological forensic evidence, no latent prints evidence, no trace evidence. He was very meticulous. His cases were sent to the Gauteng Provincial Serial and Electronic Crime Investigation units as they had no leads and have gone cold. The unit is a specialized one that investigates serial rapists and offenders involved in child pornography. Phakathi's ID kit was recirculated all over media in September 2020, and it took 7 months before his ultimate arrest. During the trial, Phakathi was subjected to mental and physical evaluation. Various reports found he was fit to serve time in prison. During sentencing proceedings, a mental observation found that Phakathi did not suffer from any mental illness during the period he committed the crimes. 2 psychiatrists from the West Skopje Psychiatric Hospital concluded that Phakathi was fully aware of his actions and had the mental capacity to differentiate between right and wrong. Despite no psychiatric diagnosis being found, the reports indicated that Phakathi developed an adjustment disorder after his arrest in 2021. This report was meant to back up the testimony given by the defense's clinical psychologist, Dr. Lynette Roux, who claimed that Phakathi showed symptoms of emotional depression, among others. Phakathi's lawyer, Advocate Ledao Khokane, had requested a mental evaluation for his client, arguing that he should serve his sentence at a psychiatric facility. However, 4 reports handed in as exhibits in court on the 25th of September 2024 declared that Phakathi is fit for imprisonment in a correctional facility. Khokane said a report from the Johannesburg Correctional Services was relevant for sentencing. He added the prison where his client was held had services available for an amputee like Phakathi, who lost half of his right leg. The reports further indicated that Phakathi will be placed in a communal cell with other inmates. However, if issues arise, alternative placement will be provided. The 2 other reports compiled at Tembisa Tertiary and Charlotte Maxeke Academic Hospitals revealed Phakathi was fully healed following a surgical amputation. 6 days after he was shot and arrested, Phakathi was transferred from Charlotte Maxeke to Tembisa Hospital for a skin grafting operation, which was successfully done on 7 May 2021. The wound to the amputated right thigh healed. The reports from Tembisa Hospital read, "He doesn't have any diseases. He mobilizes well on crushes. We don't anticipate any complications. He may serve a sentence in jail without difficulty." Close quotes. On October 4, 2024, the courtroom was packed with many of Phakathi's victims, their families, and gender-based violence activists during the sentencing proceedings. Phakathi, dressed in a 2-piece tracksuit, was sitting in the dock with his face down and a mask on while acting Judge Lesego Mokulumakwe was reading her sentence decision. The acting judge said Phakathi will be added to the National Register for Sexual Offenders. The court also ordered that he be deemed unfit to possess a firearm. Additionally, the court stated that when the Department of Correctional Services evaluates Phakathi for parole, the victims and or complainants of his reign of terror should be given the right to speak out and attend pertinent meetings.
I found that the fact that the accused was in possession of a knife and a firearm clearly indicate that the offense were premeditated. And further that he approached this complainant while some of them were inside their house. And after a careful consideration of all the evidence before me and taking into account all the aggravating and mitigating factors and the other factors that I required to take into account, namely the seriousness of the crime. This is a gender-based violence. It is rife and prevalent in the whole country, and the court must send a message and deter the accused and will be criminals from committing these offenses.
Some of the victims of Phakathi's reign of terror spoke to the media following the sentencing.
I so wish ukuthi kube isifundo all the perpetrators ukuthi you cannot play around ngeimpilo zabantu.
As a victim, and now I'm going to take law counseling because I was not fine. But since namhlanje, hopefully sizoba right.
Siyabonga imimpumela namhlanje, although emakhaya wethu besihed whatever imimpumela namhlanje iphumelelile sijabulile kakhulu.
Thank you for watching. Do subscribe, like and comment.